Right, so hey everyone and welcome back to another budget photography video. So storing your files at home can be kind of tricky because you've got lots of different services that you can use. You have a choice of online services such as Google Drive, which I've now left behind because I find it useless. There's a video somewhere of me saying I don't like Google Drive. Go watch it and then come back. Here, I'll give you a second. Ah, you're back. Right. Anyway, so apart from just using Google Drive, you have Dropbox, Amazon, and everyone's getting into the cloud storage, which is perfectly fine. You can pick up a 2 terabytes worth of online storage from Google for about £10 a month here in the UK, which is pretty damn good if you ask me. 2 terabytes for £10 a month, that's pretty good. Or you can store the files yourself. You can buy something like this. This is a SanDisk 500 gigabyte SSD. This is nice and small. It's whoa, see? It's lightweight, it's just a chip inside here. It's 500 gigs, it's USB-C, it's got this, it's got that, it does this, it does that. And it's really small. Did I mention it's small? I mean, look how small that is. Really? But what if you want something bigger than this minuscule thing? 500 gigs. Bleh. Well, let me introduce you to the Western Digital Elements. This drive right here is an 8 terabyte. Yes, terabyte. That is 8,000 gigabytes. 8,000 gigs. This is a hard drive, and there is a difference. A solid state drive revolves around a chip inside this casing, kind of like your phone does. It uses a chip. There is no hardware or anything there to move or anything like that, and that is a benefit of having a solid state. It means that if you drop it, it's unlikely, it's still likely to happen, but unlikely to break and damage your data. And a HDD or a hard drive, or even its full name, a hard disk drive, is exactly what it says on the tin. It is basically a casing with a disk inside. So inside this one, this is another 500 gig from a laptop that I took apart a while ago, and I now use it on my Mac as another drive. But inside here is a spinning disk, and the same with this one, although there are more spinning disks in this one than there are in this one. So think of these kind of like your old CD player. So there is a read and write head, is what it's called. It's a read and write head. And what that does is that goes searching around the disk, looking for the file that you are looking for. Now, hard drives are never going to be as fast as SSDs because, well, it's just easier for the computer to access the files because it hasn't got to go looking for them as much as it does with a hard drive. But the benefit of having a hard drive is the fact that you can pick these up, and including this one, for really, really cheap. I think I picked this 8 terabyte up for about £120. Here in the UK, it is a really, really good drive. It has USB 3.0 standards for speed, so the drive is pretty damn quick, and it's a really big storage device. Like, this is 8 terabytes of storage. All in all, I have about 9 terabytes of storage. I have this big drive, and then I have 2 smaller drives, as you've just seen. Now, probably one of the best things that I really like about this is there's no setup required. You just plug it in and you're away. Now, there are some downsides to this. This doesn't come without compromise. Yes, this does have USB 3.0 speeds, but it is never going to be as quick as an SSD. So if you're gonna buy one of these drives, use it for long-term storage rather than short-term. So on here, all of my video files for the last year are backed up on. Another downside to this drive is the fact that it has to be powered. It needs wall power. It has a plug socket. It needs power. So yes, it can be plug and play straight into your computer, but unfortunately, you're not going to be able to plug it into something like an iPad. Now, it does have kind of a weird USB port on the back of it. Just there, look, can you see that? It's really weird. Like, why would you put that kind of thing on there? Like, but there is a good reason as to why Western Digital put that port on there to use for file transfers. because it is the one that enables USB 3.0. So yes, that port is a little bit weird, but you will be able to still buy them on places like Amazon. Unfortunately, you won't be able to go down to your local like supermarket and buy one, but they're usually pretty cheap themselves. I've brought 2 or 3 of them as a backup in case one breaks or something happens to it, and yeah. And these kind of drives can be really good, especially when you have a Mac like me, because, well, Apple tax and more Apple tax, so I didn't really want to, you know, fork out for the 4 or 5 terabytes worth of space on here. So I went for the lowest storage of 256 gigabytes on the Mac Mini M1, and then brought 8 terabytes for about 130, 150 pounds. It's a no-brainer. Like 8 terabytes, I am never gonna run out of storage on this. And if I do, the only reason that I'm running out of storage is because, well, I'm using like a red weapon or something, which is really unlikely for me. Now, actually, probably one of its biggest downsides is actually its size, because while this is actually quite a small and compact design, it's still quite a big design, especially for 8 terabytes. Now, this is by no means huge. It's still very small and compact. I have it stored away just down here out of shot under my desk, but you do have to think about airflow because these can and do overheat. I've never had overheating, luckily, but they can and do overheat, and if they overheat too much, your data's probably gonna fry. So make sure that it is in a well ventilated area where it can breathe. Yeah. Another downside is this hard drive can be quite loud. So try your best to just use the drive when you need it. So import/export when you need to, and then I would say unplug the drive, because otherwise the constant noise of the hard drive spinning is gonna do your head in. Well, it does for me anyway. So in a nutshell, would I recommend the Western Digital Elements? Yes, it's 8 terabytes for about 150 to 130 pounds here in the UK. It's 8 terabytes. You can get lower storage. I think they've got a 4 terabyte and a 2 terabyte one. So it's even less, really. You've got really good speeds, and it's just cheaper than buying cloud storage. Now, don't get me wrong, cloud storage does have a lot of benefits that you can't do on that drive. So you really do need to figure out what you need from a hard drive or storage. Do you need portability? Do you need to be able to access the files when you're in a remote location? Or are you just coming home from a video shoot and dumping the files to a computer ready to be edited? Once you figure out what you need from a drive, you will figure out what drive is best for you. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me in this video, and I'll see you in the next one.